Hey there, it's DM Scott. That's right, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you, the chubby guy wearing the This Is How I Roll t-shirt. Why don't you ditch that ratty old t-shirt that's 2 sizes too small for you? Where'd you get that? Baby Gap? Head on over to our Merchant Morse store on our epic new website. Grab yourself some Dungeon Masters Dojo logo wear. You won't regret it. Rock that t-shirt like the nerd boss you are. It's sleek and it's black, and everyone knows that black is slimming. Hell, I look like a slender 3XL when I'm wearing this black shirt. Not only will you look deceptively less chunky, but with that bold red and white logo, you look like a superhero. And who doesn't want to look like a superhero? So head on over to the DungeonMastersDojo.com merch and more to fill your bag with our swag. See you next time in the dojo. Greetings and salutations, DMs, GMs, referees, judges, game operations directors, and all other varieties of storytellers. This is your DM, Scott, and it's time for another DM Quick Tip. It's getting minis for your game. Where to start? One of the places I like to go to quite frequently, as a matter of fact, to get my minis for my game are Reaper Bones. They're a Reaper line of miniatures, and you can find them on the web, which is super convenient because from the comfort of your home, you can select and order your minis, and they'll send them right to you. And that's great. And these Reaper Bones are pretty inexpensive, and there's a pretty broad range of different genres you can pick from, which is also something that's fantastic. Now, the drawback with Reaper Bones is I found that they could be a little over flexible in that the quality of the plastic isn't great, but that could be attributed to its inexpensive nature, I suppose, right? But you can bend them back into place with a pretty solid hair dryer and a little patience, or maybe a dip in some warm water. The other drawback is you have to paint them. So that means a little scrubbing and some warm soapy water to get the mold release off them. You might have to clean up a couple mold lines, but it's usually not too bad. Then you're off. You get to start your painting. Painting, of course, does take time and a tremendous amount of patience, and it's not one of my favorite things to do. Another option is Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures, and that is a D&D line of miniatures that's pretty convenient. The plus is that I think they're somewhat reasonable in price, and they come painted. Now, the paint job isn't great, and the mold lines aren't cleaned up always, but they do a good job of representing what you want on your table. Now, one of the drawbacks is that they come in these little booster packs. You could get them in bricks, or you could get them in individual packs, but you have no idea what's on the inside of the box. And I think this is really how they get you to come back and buy some more. The third option, and this is the one that I use for my player characters at my table, and that's Custom Miniatures by Hero Forge. Hero Forge has come a really long way in their miniature production. You can customize these miniatures in a variety of ways, and it seems like every few months there's more and more customization options for you. So you hop online, you go ahead and you do a mock-up of your character, the miniature you want, and they go ahead and they have it produced and mailed to your home. Now, these are expensive. They're really, really expensive, prohibitively expensive in many cases. So I wouldn't recommend populating a table with them, but I do like to have them on my table for player characters because they do stand out. Now, one of the things that Hero Forge started to do was produce painted figures, and those look pretty good. Granted, there is an extra cost to it, which makes them even more expensive. And then finally, there's 3D printing. 3D printing has come down in price quite a bit, and places like Hero Forge will sell you the custom STL files for the miniatures you designed at a reduced price. So your miniature may be $30 for your custom miniature, but the STL file is going to be somewhere around $7 or $8. 3D printers are fantastic, but I think for you to get really quality minis on the 28 millimeter or that heroic scale that we use, you really need a resin 3D printer, something like an Elegoo Mars or an Anycubic Photon. Now, these are small, they're portable, they're wonderful, and the quality of the miniatures you get are fantastic. The drawback is the startup cost is pretty expensive. And then you need materials, and you need safety materials because resin can cause pretty nasty burns on your skin. And you need special equipment to clean it up. So the upfront cost is going to be expensive, but where you're going to save money in many cases is on the printing of these miniatures. In many cases, you can find STL files free on a variety of websites, or you can just buy them, or you can subscribe to a company like Loot that produces STL files with a theme every month. My membership is between $12 and $13 a month, and I've gotten some really beautiful STL files for minis that come out just fantastic. Now, there are many ways you can find minis for your table, and these are just some. See you next time in the dojo.